I'm Jim Bruggers. I'm based here in Louisville, Kentucky, and I cover the Southeast states, and it's part of InsideClimate News' National Environmental News Network. As the people have been protesting on the streets in Louisville, regarding the death of Breonna Taylor, there's these long-standing issues of environmental injustice in Louisville. And when you talk to people who've been on the streets, when you talk to people who are Black leaders in this community, they'll say, "Yeah, we've been saying we can't breathe for a long time." I spent 18 and a half years working for the Courier-Journal, which is Kentucky's largest newspaper. I was hired as an environment reporter. The beat included obvious areas, coal, for example, the Ohio River, but it also included this complex of chemical plants in Louisville called Rubbertown, which dates to World War II and the US government's interest in having rubber production. They were able to actually use alcohol from the bourbon industry to turn that into synthetic rubber.
Can you talk a little bit about what you've learned in terms of the neighborhood makeup and what that means for life expectancy?
In the last few years, the city of Louisville has done some research on that, and it's a 10 to 12 year difference depending on where you live. If you happen to be in the neighborhoods that are closer to this Rubbertown area, maybe 70 to 72 years might be your life expectancy. And if you're further to the east, they're whiter, they're more affluent. There you might live, 80, 82 years. So it's a big difference. There was a recent study that came out just like a couple of months ago that pinned about 75% of that disparity on being exposed to pollution. There's been a tremendous amount of progress that's been made, but there still are air pollution hotspots in this town, closest to some of these factories and some other, industrial places.
In the wake of these recent demonstrations, you've seen the rise of Charles Booker and conversations of environmental justice playing a much larger role than arguably ever before. How do you see this playing into the November elections, regardless of what happens with the primary?
It's not every day that Kentucky has people seeking statewide office that even talk about environmental justice, and Charles Booker has made that part of his campaign. So regardless of how the primary turns out, the one thing that I'm noticing is that as the people have demonstrated now and marched and protested and done everything they've done in Louisville for almost 4 weeks now, we are seeing new leadership rise up in our community and express themselves.